India is on the cusp of making one of its largest defense acquisitions for the much-awaited delayed purchase of 114 multi-role fighter aircraft, or MRFA, for the Indian Air Force, in what is being termed as the mother of all defense deals, valued at $20 billion. India's combat fleet is aging and security threats from China and Pakistan are growing each day, and the Indian Air Force is now flying only 31 squadrons rather than the operational need of 42. This is the lowest number of Indian Air Force squadrons since the 1965 war. Meanwhile, China has over 200 J-20s, while Pakistan is getting the latest military aid from Beijing, including the J-35 jets. To close the capability gap, a Reuters news report now suggests the Indian government is finally likely to roll out tenders for the 114 MRFA contract later this year. The news is making headlines even as Russia has offered the Sukhoi 57 production in India, while Donald Trump has offered the renowned F-35 stealth fighters to the Indian Air Force. It remains to be seen now if India will go for both options, a few squadrons of stealth jets plus the 114 MRFA deal. The MRFA has caught the interest of international aerospace behemoths such as Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Dassault Aviation, Saab, United Aircraft Corporation, as well as Eurofighter. But what is the 114 MRFA project all about? The MRFA project is essentially restoration of India's cancelled 2007 medium multi-role combat aircraft program, which sought to purchase 126 fighter jets for the Air Force. That ambitious project was shelved in 2015 when the Prime Minister Modi government decided to purchase only 36 Rafale fighter jets off the shelf from France's Dassault Aviation in favor of later pushing for a deal for larger domestic manufacturing in India. Now, with the Indian Air Force's fighter squadron strength decreasing and its MiG-21s, MiG-29s and Jaguar all date back to the Soviet era on the verge of retirement, the urgency to acquire new fighter aircraft has never been greater. Yet, the Prime Minister Modi government continues to be steadfast in its Make in India program, seeking to find a balance between foreign expertise and indigenous defense production. Reportedly, any winning bid for the 114 MRFA project will have to commit to manufacturing in India. One of the greatest unknowns regarding the MRFA project is whether India will also now seek to acquire foreign 5th-generation stealth fighters such as the F-35 or the Sukhoi 57. If India does acquire either of these advanced foreign stealth fighters, then the MRFA deal could witness a reduced purchase instead of a full-fledged 114 4.5 generation fighter jets. A possible best-case scenario would be acquiring both stealth fighters as well as leading 4.5 generation jets to have an operational edge. Yet the ultimate decision of the government remains uncertain, and the fate of the MRFA program depends on how India goes about modernizing its air defense strategy. The battle for the MRFA contract is a tough one, with 4 major global players vying for it. Dassault's Rafale from France is a top contender because the Indian Air Force already has it, making logistics, maintenance and pilot training much easier. The Eurofighter Typhoon is also an extremely capable aircraft, but its multi-country production arrangement is a huge disadvantage. With the war raging in Europe and geopolitical tensions, India may be hit with unexpected supply chain issues if it chooses the Eurofighter. Swedish company Saab has been aggressively marketing its Gripen fighter jet in India, highlighting its intent to completely produce the fighter in India as part of the Make in India initiative. This is a fit for India's initiative towards defense independence, and thus Gripen is an appealing option. However, this is a fighter jet that arguably does not possess the same combat capabilities as the Rafale. The fourth option is Lockheed Martin's F-21. Now, this is a special edition of the F-16s made specially for India. India, though, has traditionally been unwilling to buy American fighter jets, and if at all New Delhi does go for an American plane, it would be inclined more towards the more advanced 5th generation F-35 stealth fighter instead of the 4.5 generation F-21. The MRFA proposal is still hanging in the air, but in the meantime, the Indian Air Force has proceeded with indigenous options. The government also recently approved the purchase of 97 additional Tejas Mk1A fighter jets from the Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. Now, this decision follows a previous order of 83 LCA Mk1A variants in 2021, with the deliveries finally expected to begin in April 2025. Additionally, the Defense Acquisition Council has cleared the procurement of 156 light combat helicopters or Prachand, further reinforcing India's commitment to indigenous defense manufacturing. But the indigenous fighter aircraft program is not without hurdles. Former Indian Air Force Chief, Air Chief Marshal V.R. Chaudhary recently countered the notion that delays in the Tejas Mk1A fighter aircraft program were solely because of engine supply problems from General Electric. Rather, he identified systemic inefficiencies at HAL and India's overall defense procurement ecosystem as part of the delays. Chaudhary stated, quote, "MRFA should be pushed. Scapegoating engines alone for Tejas delays is not right," unquote. Meanwhile, former Indian Air Force Vice Chief Air Marshal Anil Khosla has also underlined the necessity of next-generation multi-role aircraft to keep the force well balanced. He proposed the phasing out of MRFA acquisition plan over many years, as this would defray the spending period and at the same time enable India to achieve more contemporary technologies. But the million-dollar question still remains. Will the MRFA finally take off, or will it be put once again on the back burner in favor of indigenous fighter jet projects such as the LCA Tejas Mark IIs and the 5th generation Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft, or the AMCA? With China fast-tracking its Air Force modernization and inducting advanced stealth fighters, India has a tough choice to make. Though giving top priority to indigenous fighter jets is a significant move towards defense self-reliance, India must also ensure that its Air Force continues to be technologically competitive, if not superior, to its regional rivals. The countdown for one of India's largest defense deals has begun. So will the MRFA deal finally take flight, or will it get postponed once again, as it has done for almost 2 decades now? Leave a comment with your opinion, hit the like button and subscribe to Inconnect News.